Hello, hello, people. How's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. Hello, Emra. First time here? Well, welcome. Glad to see you. Hey, Riptide. How goes? How goes? Hello, Noah. Welcome back. What's up? Much? A good day. I went to the Sugar Shack today. If any of you live in Canada, you definitely know what that is. Where you eat a lot of sweet maple syrupy foods, and before that, you eat a lot of greasy foods. You know what it is? Do they do the Sugar Shack in America as well? You don't live in Canada though? Yeah. Do they do it in America? You remember me? I remember you, yeah? Hey, hello, Snick. How's it going, buddy? Not sure. So you've never been to one then? You know of it, but you've never been to one. We're on the wheel today? No, we're doing some more watercolor today. I've upgraded my setup a bit. And by upgrade, I mean I'm painting on a bigger page. So there's more to see. That way you're still going to be able to see my palette over here. Oh, should I guess I could show chat as well here. Yeah. Hello, I'm out right now, so I can't really be here, but know that I'll lurk. No worries, Ozzy. Thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. I remember you drew my suggestion about the strawberry pug. Oh, yeah, I remember the strawberry pug. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I remember pretty much all my ink figures, so if you tell me which one I drew for you, it'll definitely link some synapses in my brain. So is it like we say what we want and you make it? So yeah, exactly what Riptide said. Basically, that's what I've been doing for the past month, but now I'm doing some watercolor. And I want to get back to watercolor. I might even do a full week of watercolor. I'm thinking of like on like a big grind, you know? It gets boring, so mixing it up a bit. It's just how I am, though. Like, I mean, ultimately, it would be nice to have a mix, for sure. A mix of, like, all the different types of content. But I might need to spam watercolor for a bit until you guys get bored of it. Because sometimes I just need to put myself fully into something. Can you draw me a snack, please? Well, I'm not doing the suggestions today, but if you guys absolutely want something drawn and completely rendered, there's always there's always my Patreon. Aside from what I do on stream, and I also draw them on stream, but otherwise you'll have to wait for one of those streams. I even drew a snake without you even asking, Snake. Let's see it, Riptide. All right, so let me show you guys the plan for today. Today, oh, also I wanted to say hi. Hey, hello, One Roar. I wanted to say hi because there was a couple people in offline chat. Yeah, Huddy, hello. If you're still here, Huddy, I saw you as one of the first messengers in offline chat. Welcome in. So my plan for today is to humble myself beyond belief. You're supposed to do an art share? Hell yeah, let me check that out. Let's see this. Let's see this snake of yours. I love it. Here's here's the snake. Is that a walking cane or a magic wand? Denver loves to draw. Remember when you was saying paper doesn't matter? When did I say that? Oh, well, so for pen and ink, so okay, there's context to that. For art training, you know, and especially like pen and ink, I was saying you can use like printer paper, so it doesn't really matter. However, when it comes to watercolor, paper is actually the most important part of the medium. Having high quality paper is much more important than having high quality paints. So paper does matter when it comes to watercolor. Yeah. Watercolor, alcohol markers, acrylic markers need good paper. Well, yeah. Yeah. When I was saying, I feel like you're taking it like a little bit out of context. What I said. What I was saying is for like art training, like art practice. You know, if you're not making a finished piece in a specific medium, like of course you're not gonna use like you're not gonna use oil paints on like printer paper. You know, like what I was saying is if your goal is practice, then you know any cheap paper will do. You know, same for when you're doing figure drawing. You're not gonna buy like a pad of really expensive paper and to do like 30-second doodles of like a figure drawing, you know. And what I was saying is one of the cool aspects of printer paper is that it's mass produced to actually hold ink well because you print on it. So printer paper is actually very very cheap and makes ink drawing a very accessible medium. I love to do acrylic painting. I have yet to do acrylic. The only painting I've done is actually watercolor, and it's one of the hardest. And I'm sticking to it until I master it. Because that's how I go through life. It's like how I play Cuphead. It's like how I play a Dark Souls game. I get to a boss, and I grind it until I defeat that boss. I don't go anywhere else. I don't get stronger. Whatever level I'm at, I get to that boss and I defeat it. You know, that's only once I defeat it do I move on, and that's watercolor for me. So I need to beat the shit out of watercolor, and then I get to move on with trying other things. You use something similar? It's just a certain mindset, you know. I think in the long run it helps. It's artism. That might be artism, yeah. Read my message. Hi Ruth, what are you eating? I'm eating smoothie, a very good smoothie. Also, what's the message I missed, Riptide? Ink, the snake is holding a paintbrush. Oh, I see. Very cool, very cool. It's a very cool snake. No, I'm just so used to all my paintbrushes like ending in like points that I like didn't actually. Wait, I have a camera here. It's always so trippy figuring out which camera to show things to. Yeah, I'm so used to my paintbrushes ending in points that I didn't clock in that it might be a paintbrush. But and also if they don't end in points, they at least end in like flats, you know. So that's why when your paintbrush like ended in like a circle, I didn't it didn't automatically read as a paintbrush for me. Yeah. I like acrylic painting because you can layer. Yeah. So that's the one thing about watercolor that's really hard is that you can't you can't really fix mistakes. You can't put light on top of dark. You can only go darker, you know? Caroline, ayo. How's it going, Caroline? No, that was flat, at least flat-ish. The tip of it? No. Riptide, the tip of your brush, like it's a circle, it's like a. I know. The only brushes I've seen like that are really like distressed brushes that have been like overused. Hi Nate. It's very frayed. Yeah, exactly. Please look in art share. You shared something in art share? Is this so it's two king snakes. One's some sort of digital cyborg snake, and the other one is a more regular, kind of looking a bit poisonous. They need fangs, my dude. They've got like all these teeth. They need like long fangs in front. How's it going, Nate? Denver says oil is the hardest for me. Watercolor is super easy for me, but acrylic is like watercolor. Just you can layer, but techniques in acrylic can be tricky just a little. Okay. You can't say that watercolor is super easy for you. You need to post something in my Discord right now. I'm not gonna let a chatter just spout something like watercolor is super easy. Okay, you gotta prove yourself. Show me how easy it is. It's one of the hardest painting mediums. I mean, it might depend what kind of result you're going for. I'm not on your Discord server, plus I don't join servers. Only use it to talk to friends IRL. And Riptide. Then send it to Riptide. They'll send it to me. Actually, watercolor isn't super easy, just easy for me because I got experience with it. Okay, so you've had a lot of experience with it. Yeah, see. Because Riptide goat. But yeah, if you want to see a couple of my watercolors, I had like a slideshow thing going on before. Or maybe I can put it in the bottom right for now. Yeah, these are some of the watercolors that I've done. Oh. He's bluffing. It's rather unforgiving to depend on the paper quality. It's you mean both, right? It's unforgiving and depends on paper quality. Yeah, definitely. 100%. You need good paper. You can still get some reasonably good stuff with lackluster paper. Like like I did. Oh wait, let me take this out of the way. Like I painted this on like pretty shitty watercolor paper, so like you can still get some cool effects. It's not going to soak up as much water as like good quality watercolor paper, and so you have to know how to tackle it. You can't tackle it in the same way. You can't try to create these big washes because they're just not going to work. So you have to tackle it differently, and be careful to not overwork any area because the paper won't allow that. So hello Saturn, welcome in. You gonna play Sonic the Hedgehog too? Alright, go for it. Happy lurking. Sorry I can't watch, but I'll listen because I'm playing Cuphead. Oh, hell yeah. Where are you at in Cuphead? Watercolor is fun. I've been doing it for like 6 years now. Ooh, awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, I recently got accepted to to show some of my watercolors at a new gallery, and so I'm very excited. I'm going to be bringing them on Tuesday. Well, hopefully that goes well. I was prepping my materials for my cards. Oh yeah. How's your card game going? Unroarable with his dino fact of the day. Fun fact, Mapuosaurus was one of the largest megatheropods to have ever existed and was 2-1 of the biggest land carnivals. I'm gonna assume you didn't mean to put a 2 there. One of the biggest land carnivores to have ever existed and was on average, or larger estimates, reached 7+ tons. All right, I'm gonna correct the syntax in my head. I think I understand it. But 7+ tons, very heavy dude. Also, what are megatheropods? You've said that a couple times now on Roarable. Maybe your facts of the day should be like a bit more a digestible knowledge bite, like what a megatheropod is, or yeah, I need to, because when I read a sentence and I don't know 3 of the words, I don't. I'm not gonna remember it. You tried ink? That's awesome. You can definitely post them on the Discord if you'd like. All right, so yeah, let's move forward with the plan for today. As I was saying, the plan for today is to humble myself beyond belief. And by that I mean I'm gonna try do a master study, which I tried comma ink. Oh, okay. Yes, commas, they do save lives. Okay. But so what's a megatheropod on Roarable? A cardonsaurid, so like Gigantosaurus. Okay. So menacing and heavy duty. I love Dino Facts. One of my favorite games is Ark. The term theropod is used for any dinosaur that were part of the theropod family, so 2-legged, 2-armed, non-hadrosaur dinosaurs, from Carnotaurus and T-Rex, to raptors, to Therizinosaurus. Okay, so theropod, dinosaurs that were part of the theropod family. So theropod family is 2-legged and 2-armed. So the ones with baby arms are the theropods. Okay. Interesting. I'll try to remember that. I need to start locking in and remembering these dino facts. But yeah, make them bite sized for me. I'm not that smart. Arnold's make me giggle with their teeny tiny arms. Yeah, they really do. All right, so like I was saying, today we are. Where's it? Yes, we are going to be trying to do a master study. So we're gonna watch the painting process of one of the watercolor artists that I admire, and we're gonna try and replicate it. And I am gonna severely humble myself and fail, but I am ready for that. So for that, we're just gonna start with watching a video of the process. Yeah, I watched this before a long time ago, but you know, I'll pause and make comments, and let's just have fun watching this. Yeah. All right, here goes.
G'day viewers, welcome back to Colour in Your Life. I'm at the Canson factory in Melbourne to celebrate the 120-year anniversary of Schminky Watercolours and to also spend the day with the world's leading watercolour artist, Joseph Zbugvich. Canson flew the Colour in Your Life team down to Melbourne so we could see their huge range of products and also see how a master artist uses Arches watercolour paper and Schminky paints to create paintings that dazzle the mind and excite the senses. We spent a great day going through the factory and seeing the many items Canson has for artists, and also saw the team there branding many of their products with the Colour in Your Life stickers, so that you guys watching the show can have a chance to win many thousands of dollars of Schminky paints. Don't forget to watch at the bottom of the screen to collect the keywords for the competition. Good luck to all and enjoy the show. Well, viewers, we're in Melbourne in this episode, and we've come down to see an amazingly talented master watercolour artist, a gentleman by the name of Joseph Zbugvich. He is quite an extraordinary human being. Let's go on and spend the day with him and see what he's up to. This is going to be absolutely great, let me tell you. Joseph!
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good to see you.
Come in.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Great to see you again.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, what an amazing studio you've got here, Joseph.
Yes, I love it here. I've been here for about 7 years now. I just love the place. I've quickly filled it up with all my little collections and things.
There is a sense of personal ambience in here.
Yes,
So what else have you got along here as well?
There's all sorts of bits. You know, I keep all my materials here, and I keep my pastels in here.
Okay.
I do quite a bit of handiwork, so you know, I've been an artist. I would have been a carpenter or something like
That's
that.
great.
I just love it. My dad was a handyman. I'm a great believer in having the right atmosphere when I work.
Oh,
because if you don't have that,
it's an extraordinary place. So just looking at this book here, is this one of your personal sketchbooks, is it?
Yes. Wherever I go, you know, most of it is done. You will notice if you look through it, it's kind of cafes, because I'll sit down, I'll have a coffee, and then I'll sketch. I've got all my reference books there, whatever.
Course, yeah.
And again, bits of collection, you know, all over the world.
So you've got a fabulous studio, but we're going to spend the day with you and create one of your masterpieces.
I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
I'll do something wet for you, seeing that it's a rainy day.
That'd be marvellous. That'd be marvellous. Let's go back there and have a look at what we're going to do.
All right, no worries, mate.
Thank you.
Absolute master.
Well, viewers, here we are today with, I think personally, the master of master artists, Joseph Zbugvich, who I think is just extraordinary. I've seen
like
a lot of Joseph.
He makes this stuff look like, you know, so effortless and like almost oil paints. Like, it's crazy. What like stands out to me is like pieces like here, the fire. He most definitely used watercolor paint like straight out of the tube to get that like saturation at the very end of the painting to really get that red, which is such a cool technique to employ there. and you know how he's able to also just lose the details in the back into like the smoke of the kitchen. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely great. Yeah, yeah, an absolute master. Yeah. Also, welcome in Odyssey. All right, let's keep going.
Joseph Zbugvich, who I think is just extraordinary. I've seen a lot of Joseph's work over the years and obviously followed his career, but to say it's an honour to be with you today is an understatement, my friend. It's an extraordinary situation.
Thanks,
to be
Graham.
here. It really is. Tell me a little bit more about your history.
I came here when I was 18,
Yeah.
so I was almost a grown man. My friends were getting married when I left. I arrived, I went straight to art school to be an industrial designer. I loved cars from when I was a kid, and it was my dream to be an industrial designer. I did finish a diploma of industrial design, but in the process I discovered watercolor, where to do renderings of things we designed in watercolor. And as I say, the rest is history. I just absolutely fell in love with the medium and won my first prize here. I'd only been here about 2 years, I think, and sold my first painting for twice the money my dad was earning working.
That's amazing.
So it was obvious where I was heading from there. I have a very simple philosophy on painting.
This is also something I need to work on and master some more. The way some of these master watercolor artists are able to just portray water so effortlessly. I have tried a bit. Quickly. This is from when I was practicing water, trying to do like reflections of water. I think this one right here is actually one of my best, but I was following a pretty in-depth play-by-play type tutorial for it, so you know it wasn't just like reference. But no, water is such an interesting thing to paint, and I definitely have to get better at it. Yeah, it's cool, huh? And I only had done one other. Yeah, it was when I was trying different types of water. So this is like more like ocean, and I used masking fluid here to get like the white of the waves. Yeah. The water needs to be darker than the reflections. Oh, the reflections of light. Yeah. The reflections, the shadows need to be darker than the water, though. So, for example, you know the reflection of the trees here in the water are darker. Yeah. Yeah, just a quick aside. Let's get back to the Ink really should make a dino meme theme stream at some point with the help of an Aurora. I've already actually done a dino. A dino summoning stream if you want to go check that out. Yeah.
Say, I paint. I just paint. Yeah. Everything else comes after. Yeah. And I love painting to this day as much as I ever did. Because I've never been to a class, never been to a teacher. I simply learnt everything myself. In the 70s, there was no DVDs, there was no programs like yours. I just simply went and painted, and that was it.
And the funny part about that is that that you are now one of the great watercolour teachers throughout the world. I mean, you go all over the world teaching other people. I mean, booked out 2 to 3 years in advance just to get in.
Interesting, isn't it?
It's incredible.
I hate snobbery in art.
Yeah, so do I.
I think it's just awful.
So do I.
All these concepts. Once you have to explain a painting what it means, well, it's no longer communicating to the viewer.
Sure. Okay, so when starting one of your paintings, what and how do we go about it?
One of the first things that happens is that I paint outdoors a lot. It's only the major work that's in a studio, but that's what we're doing today for the sake of your program. But you know, I'll show you a painting later that I did do on location we're going to do.
Sure.
But I know I've got a photograph there somewhere of it, so we'll go and find that.
All right.
And that will be at the beginning. I thought being wet in Melbourne, and you've come down from warm Brisbane, I actually do something iconic like a wet Melbourne street scene.
Okay.
So it's this little photo. What I'll do first is I will actually work on the photograph itself. It's something that I started to do a little while ago. So it's Photoshop, basically, but it's done by me.
Oh, okay.
So that will be my next thing. So I'll use that.
Well, let's go and do that then.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the next thing.
Okay, Joseph, so from here, you're going to obviously go to your palette.
Shadows with dark blue by doing fast hit brush strokes. Yeah, I mean, you definitely need like a good amount of control to also make sure that the shadows, you know, are in the right places, but also reflect well off the water. And yeah, it is easier said than done. Also, welcome in Grolio. Something interesting to paint would be desert. Yeah, true. That would be interesting to paint too. Yeah. I wonder if it has the same challenges as water. I think not quite, but it would have some different challenges for sure. It'd be fun. That's my technique for shadows, and I always like the results. Well, you're getting me more and more curious about your paintings. I don't know if you're not comfortable joining a Discord server, you can also DM them to me, Denver. I'd love to see them.
What colours? I think that you're using Schmenke. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
The wonderful Schmenke paints, which are a good quality product with amazing intensity. If there is anything to be said about them that differentiates them from the rest of the watercolours, that's it. Also, the ability to stay moist. So the colour spectrum is obvious. I start with yellows and go through earth colours into oranges, reds. I just think of them as warm or cool. The photograph in itself it's quite nice. It's showing us the wet day and all that, but the spacing of the cars is not very nice. It's not telling much of a story except it's a wet day in Melbourne. What I want to tell is an intersection. It's a rainy day, people are scurrying across, and there's traffic, and it's evening peak hour, let's say.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what I want to tell.
I mean,
Sounds good, Denver.
You really do tell a story, don't you?
You have to.
Yeah.
If you don't tell a story, you're just making a picture. I won't fuss with it too much. You know, it'll be pretty quick. First thing, I feel that's very flat and it needs a lead in, so a few more lines like that. I think a little tram there to really make it Melbourne would be good. And I'll have a bigger car, probably about here somewhere. So highlights first. This tree is too big, so I'll probably eliminate some of that and not have it come in so far. So this is truly very, very rough, and I'll end up probably hardly looking at this, and we'll have some taillights in there.
Look at that.
There we are.
Marvellous.
That'll do.
Absolutely marvellous.
Day Photoshop.
All right, it's time to paint, so I've got to stretch some paper and so on. Now I'm going to stick some wonderful Arches paper onto this bit of plywood.
Hey, I'm using Arches too. I should be able to do the exact same thing, right?
So the next move is to do some drawing. I usually start with the biggest shapes first, which are, in any landscape, the two biggest shapes are sky and earth. So a horizon line, as people tend to call it. And I'll say, you know, we'll have it a little bit below half. So that's for our road is going to be below here and the building's up there. So here's a tram and the little antenna which goes up. The rest of it, oddly enough, is not that important, apart from the two lights, which are fairly crucial.
And Joseph, you actually have your own collection of brushes as well. I'm very envious about all of this, I have to tell you. Can you tell us a little bit more about your brushes?
Yes, look, it happened by accident. I went to Spain to do a workshop and discovered that the brushes I was using were made half a mile from where I was giving a workshop. And I met the owners, who were delightful people, and I was instantly sold on them. The factory is called Escoda. The first thing I'm going to do is wash in a large, very pale wash for the sky. I may have some clouds, but I don't think so. And then I'll wash in the surface of the road itself. Students tend to make skies too dark and their watercolors lose light. That is, they lose that translucent, beautiful light quality that is watercolor. Some people even say sky is the eyes of the portrait of a painting in landscape painting, because the sky is what gives the painting quality. So here comes the wash, and as I say, I start at the top and I just simply go over the top quite a bit to make sure that it's very wet. It looks a bit too dark, so I'll put a bit of water in. So every time I go in to mix a wash, I add just a little bit more colour. So it's just a fraction darker. And that's it. We travel down. So there we are. We've come down to about...
I definitely think that's something that I've seen like a couple watercolor artists do that I don't do enough, is really like pre-mix enough pigmented mixture. I always end up going for a wash with like not enough color mixed, and then halfway through the wash I like panic mix some more, and I mean of course it never ends up being the same hue. So like definitely like pre-mixing and having like a good amount of pigmented water to actually use in your wash is I think crucial, you know.
Close to these cars and buildings, we're somewhere in here, aren't we? So it's now time to start looking after highlights and so on. And I want to introduce you to Mr. Bead. This thing here, I call him Mr. Bead. It's kind of a joke. Yes. Out of respect. This welt of colour is your locomotive in your watercolour. That's what takes the paint down.
I am. All right. See you, Lucas. No worries.
Down. You can see it running as soon as you.
And happy lurk in Denver.
Yes. And grey's made of many colours. Mix your greys by using all your three primaries, reds, yellows and blues, and you'll end up with a nice gradual wash like that. These are directional lines to lead us into the painting eventually. You should never put your brush to the paper unless you are almost dead certain in what you're using, how you're going to use it, what it is going to be, and see it in your mind's eye.
How's it going? It's going well, Ham. We're gonna be watching this video by a watercolor master, and then we're gonna be doing our best to do a study of what they just did. That's the plan for today. How are you doing? I like to mix titanium white with a little bit of purple to get a gray. Interesting. But it does make the color a bit more opaque, right? When you do that? Because white is more of like an opaque color, and so you kind of create like more of a creamy gray as opposed to a more translucent gray that uses the white of the paper. You know? I usually only use it to like kind of modify some colors, but I try to use the white of the paper as much as I can. And sometimes I go with white on like for like one final pass, like on top of the painting to get some highlights back. You're doing good, Ham. I'm glad.
If you're just blindly going and see what happens, it'll be just happy accidents. And that's okay for, you know, abstracts and things. But a realistic painting like this, you've really got to concentrate and say, look at that for a second. So you'll find that I often fiddle with pigment here and do all sorts of things. I seem to be doing nothing, but I'm actually doing probably the most important part of this painting, and that is I am trying to see it in my mind's eye. I do what I call a test. I just make a mark and I say, is that too dark? Is it too light? And it looks about right. It can quite often look as if it is too light when it's not. And I start with this little bits, air coolers, aerials, whatever. I'm going to re-wet that. There's a few bigger droplets. I've just given it more life, so it's wetter, so it'll last longer. Clean water and soften this so we get this lovely misty look going back. This remains alive, this line. As long as that bead is there, it's alive, so I can keep going down. Once that dries, it's the end.
Sure.
It's finished. So that tone alone is bringing that forward. We've got a weak tone there, stronger, stronger, stronger still.
Okay.
And now it's time to not muck around. It's an ergonomic way of doing it. There it goes. As this tightens up, as it is indeed, it's starting to slowly, you know, settle and dry and so on. You really need to start looking at the shapes a little bit more carefully. So if you leave this funny little thing here and it dries, it'll come to haunt you. So, and the car has to be cut.
And one of the like big parts of watercolor, like landscape painting or even like any type, is really like looking for the big shapes of value that you can create. And you'll see how, like, you know, there was like one big wash in like the background for like, you know, the lighter parts of the sky and the road, but then this wash, you know, started from the buildings in the back and it comes all the way to the buildings in the front. You know, there wasn't a separation of like, okay, I'm drawing this building, then I'm drawing this building kind of on top and like overlapping it. Yeah, so it's finding like the big shapes of value and painting those in. Hello, Archer. How you doing?
A few bits of architectural detail, but some of that I'll dry brush in later. And this,
we're watching a master at work, a master watercolor artist, and then we're going to do our best to do a study of his work. That's what we're doing, Archer.
this is quite nice. It's painted itself. And the more you can do that when you paint watercolor, the better off you will be. And another thing that I'm fond of doing is scratching things out with my nails. I'm not scared of touching my watercolors with my hands. Fingers are great for lifting off just a bit of paint, not too much. So I'm quite happy doing these sort of things. I'll scratch a little highlight there, put that in front, and I think make this wall a bit lighter. So this will have my DNA on it and fingerprints, so no one can forge this.
They can't mistake it.
Yeah, and just the last kiss of life as it's drying to see what it does.
And you really just float that mist over it, don't you?
Yes, you don't blast it close, you're finished. And I now need to start moving into my trams and cars before this dries completely.
This is what I'm saying, where like, you know, the wash started with the buildings in the back, right, with a relatively light pigment, and then it continued into the buildings in the front, but it's all the same wash of color. He didn't like do the back buildings and then do the front buildings as like a new wash on top of the old one. You know, and he even does a bit of a value variation inside that big wash, but relatively gradual. How are you? I'm doing good, Archer.
If you trust your watercolor, and if you just trust yourself and say, what destroys paintings is not technique, it's lack of confidence, lack of belief. faith. That's what ruins it. You know, if you don't believe that it's going to work, you'll never convince the viewer that it will work. A little bit of colour into this, just there. It's got a bit of a hump on there. Fine adjustment. This is a bit high. There. Better. Time to do this last car here. That's the back of it. This one is driving up the street. The dark under the car, the shadow, is more important than the wheels or headlights on a car. That's what anchors it to the ground. There's some mirrors sticking up. I'd like to put in the taillights and make them run into there. So we've got this bright, beautiful, bright cadmium orange,
Amazing.
which is doing it. Now I'm going to do the same with the headlights, and I use it straight out of the tube, nice and thick, and put it on again while this is still quite moist, so it melts in. Now I'm going to really have to go for it. I'm going to just give it yet another kiss of life. It won't hurt. Never hurts. It always looks good. There. Beautiful. Too much paint on a brush. There is a tree growing on this side. It is a fantastic way of connecting this shape and draping it in front of this one, and it's just a lovely way of making kind of like a tunnel to look through.
Hello, Wika. Welcome in. What a wonderful work, yeah. And what an amazing artist. This is Joseph Zbutwik. Yeah, we're gonna be watching him work, and then we're gonna try our best to study his approach and painting ourselves. Welcome in. Welcome in, Karen. Hi, how you doing?
We simply do this. That's not dark enough. Not enough mixing.
What type of brush have you got there? Is it?
It's just a sable, squirrel brush, soft, but not so big. I need to get a bit of control. The other thing I do is I actually punish it by going like that, so it goes into this shocking thing like that, and you push it forward, and that should give us our tree leaves. And again, vary your brush marks so they don't look the same. The worst thing for your brushes is to not wash them out and clean them after you've finished painting. I promised myself to wash and clean them every time I finish. It was a New Year's resolution in 1968, and I still don't do it, and hence it absolutely ruins your brushes.
There you go.
It is shocking because it goes into this hard, harsh thing. A few branches again, and this paint is lovely and thick.
And like you can see how, like, you know, he's really comfortable with pigment density. You know, like from the light washes to the back to this wash, which is just so. I mean, it's not even, I don't even know if you can call it a wash anymore. You know, it's just so heavy in pigment. You know, and just like the confidence to go over top of it like that, and you know, I gotta really be more confident in like varying the amount of pigment that I put on my brush, the amount of pigment that I put in my washes. Hey, did you see what I asked on Discord? Oh yeah, you wanted a little Saturn on the cape of your bunny that I'm doing for you? I can do that for you, yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's keep it going.
I'll do quite a bit of rigger work now. Here's a little highlight, and I will change that into a light, like so. I sell some work in America, and they always find these wires a little bit strange, but Melburnians readily accept these wires running through the sky for the trams. But to me, they are just simply connecting and directional lines. They're just terrific for directing your eye through the picture.
Like incorporated perspective lines.
Time for this wonderful cadmium red mixed in with the cadmium orange. But I actually will use them straight out of the tube.
Oh, I see what's happening.
And then this is pre-wetting the paper so it gives pigment room to run.
Yeah.
Not everywhere, but enough to give it space. And we'll get it really wet.
Yeah.
It has to be about as wet as you can get it. And I'll choose a reflection colour which will be, I think, a little bit warmer. And it either works or it doesn't. But as you can see this time, my adage of things painting themselves is dead true. You have to just let it do what it wants to do. You can see that this is now starting to work as a wet road.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. I can just angle this a little bit, and I will sneak in some little figures here. I'll give him a little umbrella. So, and I'll just lift this off. Well, there we are. This is now finished, and this gives it that nice clean edge I was speaking about before, and I think it's reading quite well. Quite pleased with it.
It's just amazing.
Thanks, mate.
And the crew, it's everybody standing in the background there, and myself would really, really like to thank you so much for having us down here.
Thanks for coming to my studio and sharing the time.
It's been an extraordinary day, it really has. As you can see, when I used the word master, I was not kidding by any means. Joseph's an incredibly talented human being. I'd have to thank Canson and Schmenke and Archers for getting us down here to film Joseph as well. It's a really rare opportunity to get to walk into a studio of a man of this calibre, so we're really grateful to be here. Once again, you can always come to Colour in Your Life and see what we're doing, but until we meet again, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life.
All right, so that's it, people. That's the bar. That's the bar we're reaching towards today. It's very high, and we are going to fall short. That's good. Music in here. An amazing picture. I can't believe the movements he does with his hands. It looks so simple, but it's incredible. Yeah, welcome in, Lee Diaz. But yeah, it's he's truly a master of this medium. He makes it look so effortless, and I think it comes down to, it comes down to a lot of things. But one of the things that strikes me the most is how comfortable he is with the pigment density that he puts on the brush. Going from very light washes to all the way to dipping his brush right into the tube of paint to get that like really strong pigment. And also like the like no hesitation with like the dry brushing. I don't do very much dry brushing. I need to incorporate that more and try to get better at that. Yeah, it's truly masterful. Yeah. So let's hello Unk figures. Welcome in. God damn you. God damn you. You don't even have to say anything to call me Unk with that name. Alright. Let's fail at some things. 'Cause that's how we learn. Alright. So first of all, what I'm going to do, as I like to do, is just, start with start with a bit of brush control. You know, and just get the hand moving. Oh no, it's Peyton's alt. No, it's not Peyton's alt. It's your girlfriend's alt. No. Isn't it the kiss you goodbye? Yeah, no, totally not. Yeah, sure. All right. But yeah, doesn't matter what pigment I put on the brush right now, so I'm just gonna take some of this muddied pigment, and I just want to focus on just some like controlled brush strokes. Yeah. Definitely gonna have to do some very interesting washes today with a lot of water. See how that goes. Y'all gotta stop switching your names on me. How am I supposed to keep track of who you are and develop a relationship? This is one of my favorite brushes because it holds a lot of water. I also have a smaller version of this same one that I used a lot last time. Yo, Nate. All right. There's nothing like starting, right? I think in any case we're gonna have to sketch first. Start by doing a sketch. You're back. Welcome back, Archer. Gotta go, see ya. Well, okay, let's see ya, Archer. All right. So let's give myself a bit of space. Need a horizon line. We're gonna have it a bit lower than half. Around here should be good. Then make sure it's straight. And let's try to block in kind of like where the buildings are. Big building in the back is almost like centered. Then you got the buildings in front that get bigger in perspective, kind of all the way to here. Got some of these peaks. It looks kind of like a church area. Church kind of building here. There's some more interesting kind of detailing here. And also the line of the street also comes down. We're not exactly at eye level with the horizon here. this. Building actually comes like a little bit lower, and then you know we got kind of just things in the back there. Try to get some road lines in. Establish the perspective a bit. So let's get the eraser out for these lines that were a bit less confident. Super Nate, welcome in. Hi, can you draw platypus wearing camo? Not today, Nate. Today we're just doing some watercolors. But you don't have to explain Punk Figures rules. I mean, the rules of the streams are down below. But also in the streams where I'm summoning people, it's usually in the title. I think my road line still needs a bit, or kind of like goes to here. I think it'll help if I move the canvas a bit. Twist it directions I need to make more or less straight lines. Kind of create these like little sections up here of detail. Maybe just get a couple lines in here of perspective. Maybe where we want to put like windows and stuff. So we kind of want to show that there's buildings in front here of this back building. But this building is really kind of head on. And when I'm actually painting it, I really gotta remember that because it's just one big wash, what's important is the silhouette, you know? Creating kind of interesting parts in the silhouette is what's gonna kind of sell it as an interesting building. So on the side here, also, let's show a bit of the side. I think also what I can do is put the reference on screen. I'll put it small. And if I do this. Yeah, there we go. I'll put the reference there. That's level, that should be fine.
Finish. You going, Snick? No worries. See you around, Snick. All right, so I mean, we've got the tree in the foreground here, but I don't think it's that necessary to sketch the tree, being quite honest. Definitely need to get these cars in. We're kind of leaving like a third of the painting at the bottom just for reflections.
get a rough sketch. Rough sketch of these cars. Make sure the wheels come down. Have to make sure when we do the shadow, we leave that little bit of light, you know, be below the car. Happy lurking, Nate. Ink, I'm still technically a child, so can you adopt me? Are your parents putting you up for adoption? I don't know if I have the funds to adopt you. I can't really support a whole family right now with kids and stuff. For here we put a tram. Make it follow the perspective lines that we put in for the road. It too, we kind of gotta give it those. The wheels would be here. Well, not wheels, right? It's like the tram, like, I don't know what you would call them. I mean, there's still wheels, right? The things that go on the tracks. It's still wheels. They just don't go on like the road. They go on their own track. You didn't know it was a command? What if I if I don't use a lurk command, instead I just lurk? I mean, it's just so that you don't need to use it. It's just if ever you want to like let me know that you'll be lurking, I will acknowledge that you're lurking. So, that's all. It's not necessary by any means. Whatever you're more comfortable doing. You can also just type that you'll be lurking. It has the same effect, but sometimes you just won't. Sometimes you're like you wanna say it, but at the same time you might be like worried about, I don't know, bothering the streamer for some reason, which you shouldn't be worried about bothering. But you know, it's a non-invasive way of doing it. Not that anything you guys write is invasive. So, whatever you're comfortable with is what I'm trying to say. It's there for your enjoyment. All right, we got a car here. Another car back here. I'm trying to just keep it loose. Because we're gonna lose a lot of these details. The watercolor anyway. And also, I am painting this smaller, so you know I'm not gonna be able to keep as many details as he does anyway. But it is one difference that we're gonna have. Sure. back here will also have some more cars. I think here he kind of has like a bigger umbrella. Like cross lights. And I guess because I'm using his painting as the reference, it's like an abstraction of an abstraction, right? Not using the reference itself, but it'll be interesting. All right, looking decent. More of the detailing will just come watercolor. Whole section over here is going to be trees, but I don't want to sketch that in. I want to kind of just free flow that with the watercolor. Right. Disable lurk, that should be a command. I think there might be a unlurk command. Try unlurk, lurk and unlurk. No, actually, there probably is an unlurk command. Never mind, no. Because that was one of the custom commands I set up. Because there's a bunch of like commands that were set up automatically with stream elements, but lurk was actually one of the custom ones I set up. There's no unlurk. Yeah. Are there any other interesting commands with the stream elements that we should be using? Now that we have all the stream elements ones. All right. For better or for worse, this is kind of done. Gotta kind of just step into the deep end and watercolor this bad boy. Remove a little bit of lead. Hopefully I don't completely lose the sketch after my first wash. That happens sometimes. I like how the reference is like a blurry camera. Yeah. I mean, a lot of his best work, I think, is from these like kind of like gloomy, like rainy days, where there's like blur integrated into the reference. You could probably use it or something similar to add people to a system to pick who gets summoned instead of using the wheel. Oh, I can make it into a command. True. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Alrighty. So basically, we're going to be starting with our first wash. So if we do a bit of a recap on the yeah, I need to get, make sure I have enough pigment, a relatively, kind of like neutral neutral tint. Try to keep it wet. Keep a bead of water at the bottom, you know, so that it doesn't dry. And I need to bring it all the way down. And then exclude my highlights. You know, make sure I don't go into my highlighted areas. And when he goes from the top to the middle, he goes from lighter to dark. And then when he goes from the middle to the bottom, he also goes from lighter to dark. So it kind of goes to light, dark, light, dark. All the same tint, just more pigment. So that's kind of the idea. And exclude your zones of light, which in this case is mainly the reflections on the cars. That's what we're gonna try to do. And also here, he's actually using his paintbrush to take some paint off where his road lines are. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep it on that still frame for me. I think that's gonna be a good reference or reference point. And let's start mixing some colors. All right. So for this wash, I think I am gonna use this brush. It's my biggest mop-like brush, unless I use like a really, really thick one. But I think this should be good enough. So yeah, let's start creating this. Here, let me put it like this so you guys can maybe see a bit more. We're gonna start creating this like neutral, this light neutral tint. Put some green. Let's put some purple in there. Green. Also, let me activate my palette. I activate it by spraying some water. That way I can dig into all these different colors a lot easier. Yeah, if we get some of the purple, the green, a bit of the blue. Kind of just trying to create this nice muddy, but not muddy because it's black. You know, we need some like undertones to it. And the more specific undertone that we do kind of want to be going for is kind of blue and purplish, which is kind of why I am using a lot of those colors. And then like I add some green in it and it kind of neutralizes it again. And so now I need to make sure I have enough pigment. So this, because that's one of the things that I kept talking about. So let's get a lot of each. And create this nice amount of neutral tone, because this is gonna have to go over the whole painting. You know, I need a lot of it. Also, I need a fair amount of water as well. That's part of creating a lot of it. Also, I need water. I think let's just do one more dab of water. I think this should be enough water. This tone is looking nice to me. Maybe let's neutralize it a little bit. A bit more. A bit more. Add a little bit more purple into it. Okay. I think I like this as my tone. Now the question is, does it have enough water in it? I'm just gonna kind of dab it onto here, just to kind of see. I feel like we could put some more water in. We want it to be a bit of a lighter wash than that. Alright, so we're gonna go for a bit more water. Alright. That's nice and watered down. So here goes nothing, people. That's basically what I'm saying. All right, time to lock in. My music up. I might go a bit more silent. All right. We want to keep it alive, keep it wet. Try to keep that bead alive at the bottom. I actually am gonna go in a tad bit more water here on top. I do want to go from lighter to darker. And I'm gonna go back in with my mixture that is a bit darker here. And things generally do dry lighter. So I think we'll be okay. Not, and if this is too dark, then it'll be a learning experience. That's what this is about at the end of the day. Anyway. I'm gonna start adding a little bit more pigment to here. I want these to be darker. I'm gonna be careful though, because I'm getting close. I'm getting close to the segments where I actually want to go around the vehicle. So for example, like here at the top of the tram, you know, we kind of want that to be a light spot. And the windshield here, and the tram lights here at the top of this car. Let's keep the beat alive over here. Oh, that's a bit too much life. Let's circulate it. They can come down a bit. Side of the tram, leave a little bit of a light here. This was a person. Maybe leave a little bit of a light for the kind of umbrella section. It's the back of the car, so we kind of want to carve out the windshield. leave a little bit there for the mirror. Let's keep the bead alive over here. Go around the windshield of the car. And in the back here. And then the side of it, connect it down into here. Connect our beads back up. Okay. We're getting past the car section. Here, one of the most important cars because it's foreground. Gotta make sure we're relatively precise. Avoid the windshield. And we're gonna get the back of the car. And now we're gonna go in with some water into here. Because we want this whole part to be a little bit lighter. We already have pigment from the bead, the very top. And then it's going to get darker again, so I'm going to go back into my pigment. Even add a little bit more of the mixture, try to mix my mixture again. Add a little bit more of the pigment. So we have the darkness down here. And then as a final little segment, we're gonna be, let me get a smaller brush for this. We're gonna be doing the lines of the road. We're gonna kind of take off a bit of the pigment. Kind of create those direction lines into the distance. All right. Step one is done, people. Step one is done. Hey, Straight D, welcome in. What have you guys been up to while I've been locked in? How you doing, Straight D? I think I remember your name. Wasn't it Daniel? Wasn't your name Daniel? Am I remembering that right? Yeah. Because your sister came in the stream and doxed you. Doxed your first name. We're studying a master's work today and trying to do it ourselves. We have the reference in the bottom corner there. I just finished the first layer. We're gonna have to dry this, so I'm gonna take out my heat gun and I'm gonna dry it. Gonna fill my water bottle first. So I do think I created maybe a bit of blooming inside of here when I went in with just the water and tried to pull back from it. Yeah. But I think it'll be fine. It's not too heavy. All right. Let me mute a quick second and I'll start drying. It might take like a minute because there's a lot to dry on this one. You said ink bless our ears. You guys really want to hear it? Okay, I'll start doing it. Let me know if it's actually bad, because I did put some filters on my mic that like stop it from like peaking, right? So is this pleasant, or would you like me to mute again? Doesn't it just sound like your mom is vacuuming in the next room? think we're good. I think we're good now. All right. So, step number 2. So basically, we've done this. Let's see it. We've done this first step. Right, we're kind of here. We're kind of like here in the painting, which I think we did an all right job at. Not too bad, I think. Now for after drying, the second application. Now we're going in and we're doing the buildings in the back. One of the tips that he says is, you know, like that. You know, I think it's like, don't be afraid that it's like too light. This is the kind of pigment density he uses. It's definitely a lot more intense than the background. We got to make sure we get the silhouettes well in this, because there's no detailing inside the building, so it's about the silhouettes. Hello, little guy. Yeah, it's really focused on the silhouettes, and here he leaves that line so you can kind of get a 3D perspective of this building as if it's like a reflection. And I think this was kind of done with like some dry brushing, you know, kind of into there. He leaves a bead of water just so you can keep working at it. And then he keeps the wash going into here, but adds I think uses more and more pigment. Yeah, you can see the difference. It's the same wash, but he started using a lot more pigment down there. And I think like this building, right, I kind of have to use the same pigment mixture, just a lot more dense. And then kind of go into the warmer colors as we get closer. What's happening? We're doing some watercolor today, and we're trying to study from a master. And so also like the bottom side of the big shape goes around the cars in a way that it doesn't actually overlap with the cars. It really goes around them. Let me see how he deals with it a bit. Goes in with his fingers to get a bit of texturing as well. I don't have a spray bottle. I have a spray bottle, but the droplets of water are like too big when I do it. I need like a good mister. Look at all the pigment on his brush. He uses so much pigment. So okay. And now he's going in to do like the detailing on the cars. Which still seems to kind of blend into the wash. It still seems to blend into the bigger wash here. So that's why I think he spritzes it, because he really wants to keep it wet so that you can like keep blending it in. But he then uses, I'd say more pigment, a slight amount more pigment for the cars, making them darker. And here he even blends the background into the rear, into the window of the car. Yeah, I gotta make sure that when I do the cars, I leave that little space underneath, you know, so you can see the wheels touching the ground and the shadow, and leave that little space of highlight from behind the car, because that really makes it read. Pigment does look yummy indeed. And yeah, just focus on the cars and their shadow. Yeah. Okay, and this is low key like a next step, I would say, because this doesn't really blend in with the washes behind it, or it's on like a foreground element. But yeah, you really got to make sure that you're. Yeah, okay. So we'll worry about that car after. First, we gotta do this part where we go around all the cars. We'll try and spritz it, keep it wet. Let me. Why is my music not going? Hello? Where's my music at? No. Also, do you see my YouTube PFP change? Yeah, I'm seeing it. You put the ink figure I did for you. Very cool. Could you eat a bucket of chum from the chum bucket? No. No, I don't think I would. Not even if it was free. I think to be able to do this, I am gonna have to like find ways to actually re-wet it and like keep it alive like he's doing. Yeah, there's no like in between step here really. Okay. Alrighty. I do the big shadows. Okay. I think I'm gonna pause it there. That's gonna kind of be my reference for this segment. And go back to our painting. You would, and I would try and steal burger recipe from the crab burger place. You mean in SpongeBob? What is that? I think it's called the Krusty Krab, no? I think that's what it's called. So yeah, so here we gotta kind of create our mixture again. But we're gonna want it more opaque. I think good. At the same hard to say. This be too opaque. Add a little bit of water. Neutralize it a bit with some green. Also, I seem to have delved a bit more into the purplish blues than I intended, but I'm gonna have to keep that continuity going. All right. I wonder. Let me get out my trusty old piece of paper. What are we looking at for this? That's looking. I think that's looking. Maybe but it is gonna dry lighter. I think we send it. I think we send it with this. And then we go darker, because we're gonna have to go a lot darker for it in front. So I think this is a good baseline. But I am gonna add a little bit more purple in it. All right. Also, I might wanna take the pigment out of this brush. I don't waste it. I'm gonna want to go with my bit smaller brush. The detailing. Welcome back, Nate. I know SpongeBob stuff. I want to help Plankton and then turn him into a 2x1 cylinder Lego piece. Would you then eat the Lego piece? Or is chum buckets the only things on the menu? All right. So, here goes nothing, I guess. So let me keep the spritz is handy. I still want a good amount of water. Okay, and like make sure the silhouette nice and attractive, has some like sharp angles to it. It has some thinner lines. Let's start bringing this down. Let's try to kind of keep a straightish line here. Get more pigment. Got to make sure segments don't dry in the process. Try to keep the beat of life going, as it were. I'm gonna re-wet this as well because I also want to create these little detailing on the side. We bring this down. Hopefully that's straight. And I'm not just fooling myself. Let's keep bringing it down. I think it's also time to start this building. That kind of connects to this one. Keep the beads of life flow in, and it kind of it kind of fades this way. So I'm gonna try and kind of show that how it fades into the distance here. And like he does, I'm gonna try and not be afraid to use my fingers. Let's keep bringing this down. We're starting to get to the location where we're gonna have to start adding more pigment. And let's here. I'm gonna go around the vehicles. Go all the way to the edge there. Try to soften it out a bit. Sorry for hitting the camera there. And yeah, we gotta keep this edge alive right here. And now I need to darken it and get some kind of like more somber colors in there. Let's relax a bit on the brown though. Let's get the blue and the purple back in there. Yeah, let's kind of get that like in between, you know. Now let's be very intentional with our silhouettes. That is the most important aspect. We're creating these big washes. And I want to go even darker than this. I'm gonna I mean, it already feels too late, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But I am gonna add some water and see if I can bring some life back into the wash. I'm just gonna kind of trust more in the process and hope that I find my way. I need to go even darker than this. And this even does some like dry brushing here, which I haven't wasn't really able to do. So this kind of going around the cars. Bring a bit more of the blue and the purple back into it. Also, like here, we're gonna have darker segments. Out of this. Let's wet it again. And let's kind of start working down into the vehicles. Like, for example, this one here. We'll kind of go all the way into it. That side is still light. You know, we gotta... Most important aspects, like I was saying, you know, the wheels, and then the connection of the shadow. Let's carve it out of the background. Same for this tram. We got like kind of the windows on the side. Let me give it another little spritz of life. I'm like putting water over my entire setup right now doing that, but sometimes you gotta you gotta sacrifice for the work. And so I'm also thinking I'm gonna go in with another brush here, and just more of like a wet brush, and try to get, you know, a bit of the color inside of here. On top of the windshield. I think also the sides here of the tram. I mean the reflection on top. I think we can. It's not going to be like a pure reflection on the tram. Be a little bit darker. Let's keep bringing this down. On the car itself, you know, we're really be on the front side here. Get the wheels in. Make this connect. That's the windshield there. Let's give it another little spritz. Get the line underneath, the line of shadow underneath the car. Oh, like that. Gotta get a little bit of dry brushing in. Maybe get a bit of some darker details in now. Kind of inside, you know, like the church, like underneath the like rooftops. Not looking too shabby, I would say. I do want to kind of make the windshield kind of fade the color into it, kind of like that. And I mean, this needs to go down in silhouette car. And it's kind of like the dry brushing close gives some kind of illusion of like detail, you know? All right. Underneath the tram. A little bit more of a spritz. Spritzity spritz spritz. Oh, sorry about that again. I need to go a little bit more into the blues over here since I've already kind of started down that path. And I gotta get, yeah, these like front of the Try to connect those as much as I can. Also, we had a little like person here. I don't know to what extent that'll come across. Hopefully that dries and makes sense. And can we kind of get a bit more detail with like our nail in here? On the church here. I think we can potentially get some like a bit more detailing, you know, inside of here. Get some try to suss out some forms. Bit more darkness, kind of like from down here. Dry brushing, like on top of our dry brushing. Okay. Oh. All right, I think this is kind of in the realms of where I want to be for this step. I think we can kind of, specific areas, maybe even go like a little bit darker. Hello, Ruth. You're the next Bob Ross. Yes, spray us. Your camera will burn soon from all the water. I hope not. I went to get ice cream. Oh. Menful, you're bonking Riptide with the TF2 metal bat. Don't do that. You're using quite a lighter gray than the reference. I think it's also like the lighting, you know. It's hard to, you know. I think my gray is kind of on par. No, maybe for this area, yeah. I do have a hard time using enough pigment. Like inside of here, I used enough pigment, but then here I didn't use enough pigment. I do think maybe, yeah, you are right about that. Okay, so the next step is this car in the front. Maybe don't spray your electronics. It's okay, my mic has a sock on it. Well, not that. So this is where we're kind of at. So the next stages is going to be this like front car. And he keeps it quite wet. Also, he didn't really leave the windshield back here as white as I did, but I think it'll be okay. So quite quite dark as well. A lot of pigment, and then he goes in with some like pure like orange reddish, you know, for the lights. So I need quite a bit of pigment, and then go in with some pure color. Quite a bit of pigment, also quite watery. And he also goes in with some whites and does the lights. Does love to spritz. This is when he goes for the tree after. All right. So let's do our car here. What about the rest of your setup? I mean, it's not getting on much. Alrighty. So let's go in with, first of all, a much lighter one for like the dashboard part. Not dashboard, the rear view window. And then kind of on the sides going to the windows. And connecting down into the wheels. And he does go over these sections, and he kind of just comes back in with that pure red. Sorry about that again. The shadow underneath the car. And try to keep this kind of wet enough so I can put that very pigmented red. Let's go for a crimson. Go for a crimson, and I'm gonna straight from the tube. So mine's gonna be a bit more red than orange. There, we can also add a bit up here. Definitely didn't bleed as much. Wonder, let me freestyle a bit, add a little bit of water. And try to kind of make it bleed a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that bled a bit. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, we're gonna get that effect a bit better, I think. So then. Oh, you weren't getting ice cream Riptide? They were just making stuff up about you? Setting up a server. Mm. An unfaithful mod? What do you mean? No. They're here. Soon you'll find a new fave streamer you won't even remember, Ink. Yeah, they already have a favorite streamer that isn't me. I'll have to work harder to become their favorite streamer. It's okay. It's good to have things to work towards. Alright, so now this... Oh yeah, now the white. Let's go in with the pure white. If I can find my pure white. Yeah. Sorry you can't, spot's taken. Only temporarily. Until I get good at streaming. Are they an art streamer though? We're gonna kind of go in with the headlights. Was this supposed to be the back of a car or the front? Whatever. It's gonna be the front. We've rated this stream 2 times. Was it Smiley, Ditama, or the person I rated last time? They really want to get good at art. We keep telling him he is improving so much. He's been learning how to animate. Oh yeah, okay. I remember. Yeah, it's who I rated last time, right? I think. Yeah. All right, I used my white. My lord. All right, let's go in with this to do this tree. He makes a massive tree in the front. So if we look at the reference, I mean, you guys can see at the bottom right, but if we look at the, not that. What is this view? This one, there we go. Yeah, so he really just YOLOs this. Why can't I see my mouse in the picture? There. He just goes at this tree with some unbridled confidence. Paints the paints the easel at the same time. You know, just like fuck this. I'm sure it was to take some pigment off the brush, but that's funny. And he even shows that raid. Yeah. Because basically, like, I don't follow that many people. I followed like everyone that we've raided, and so if I go to raid and I see someone that I follow is online, then that's who I raid. If you're not there to raid. Any up? It's not 3D print. Yeah, Cementful. Do you have you printed it? Yeah. I just need I definitely need some very pigmented paint to do this part of it. Here he's showing how he beats the brush into submission to get some texture. And it's still kind of like the same, neutral tint as here. Maybe there's a hint of green in it. A hint more green. But this is quite purple down here. Hey, Nate. Look at that little Thompson heart. So cute. Cementful, don't be throwing bombs at people in my chat. Not very nice. You wouldn't want anyone carpet bombing your house. Don't do it to other people. Oh, Riptide's immune to bombs? How are you immune to bomb, Riptide? A bomb-tastic goose egg? Draw 4. You're not immune to draw 4, though. No one is immune to draw 4. Alright. Okay, now he's going with the smaller brush as well. You get those like detailings in. So you can kind of like, so with that first brush, you kind of beat it into submission, create some texturing for the leaves. And now he's showing the wires, how he does the wires going. Which you have to do at the same time as you do this stage so that it blends into this. And also the lines of these metro lines actually matter a lot, like their placement, because they show the whatchamacallit, the grid, the perspective lines. He goes in with that cadmium. I mean, maybe I should have gone for more of an orange. It is very red. Well, we did red. Okay, so now he's showing some other shit. We gotta lock in on this first part. So messy with paint on his hand. Are you talking about me or him? No. All right, so So how am I gonna kind of get that like texture, you know? Not really a brush I can beat into submission. Maybe one of these can get like beaten a little bit. Get a texture. Also, I do have a detailing brush that I can use for the fine lines. I'm gonna do that. And Yeah, we'll use one of my other brushes and try to beat it a bit. All right, so let's start by creating our mixture again. We need enough of it, so let me put enough water. Should definitely be enough water, so now let's add pigment to it. And we really have to make this, like, it really has to be hyper pigmented. And let's kind of like finish some of these paints that I have here. Went a bit too far into the reds. Dial it back into the blues. Bluish. Brown kind of brings it a bit into the greens, which is kind of what we're looking for. Ah, give me my pigment back. So I am actually thinking of doing like, I might do like a full week of watercolor streams like this. What do you guys think of that? What is this stream becoming? I don't know. Y'all are going wild. Drawing 100 cards in my chat, beating each other on the head with bats and bombing each other. Ink, your views are low. That's all right. How many viewers we have on YouTube? We have 5 viewers on Twitch. 21? We have 21 viewers on YouTube right now? No way. Oh, okay, no, you were responding to Cementful. 6. Okay. I was like, there's absolutely no way that's true. Alright, I still got some blues back in here because I wanted to still have that same kind of color as the background. But I think it is neutralized to an extent with a bit of brownish. That should be good, and I think there's enough pigment. So, because I'm often wrong, let's put more pigment, because as soon as I think there's enough pigment, there's not enough, so let's keep putting pigment. That's what I've learned. If I use straight from the tube, I could get to this point faster. Because my like paints are like already dry, so I gotta like kind of like work at them to get the pigment out of. Okay, I think we're gonna go for it. I don't want to see. Exactly where he does make it go all the way to the top of the painting, so it does kind of like frame it. All right, here goes nothing. Got our nice dark mixture. There's no brain rotting content? Yeah, exactly. That's why the views are a bit lower. Don't worry, you'll get good at watercolor. You'll start summoning people in watercolor. Yeah, that'd be sick. You can always remove paint, but making more is difficult. Always remove paint, making more is difficult. From the, I'm not sure what you mean, Nate, because I definitely can't remove paint from the watercolor. Once it's on, it's on. Flotation. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. How are you? All right. I gotta really just, I gotta go for it. I'm honestly kind of stalling because I'm nervous. So gotta just stop stalling and just get it done. So and I like beat it a bit like he did, get some of that texture. Want it to go like a bit like in front of the building as well, you know? Don't want a clear line here. And now I just beat it again a bit and try to, no, let's get another kind of branch down here. And now we're gonna go in with our trusty smaller brush and create these kind of like branches. Honestly, I'm honestly pretty happy with this. I think near the top, I just need a little bit more of this kind of texturing. There still might have been room for more pigment, but that just seems to be my vice. I just can't put enough pigment, or like my main challenge. I can't put enough pigment on the paper. But aside from that, it's looking good. I gotta quickly do the tram lines next because they gotta merge into, merge into the leaves. So he's got like kind of like an intersection like here, and this one goes over here and connects over here to this one. And it goes into the distance in the back, front here. Something like that. Alright. Okay. Okay. Not bad. I think, and he does like a couple kind of more, just like back here. And there's the one that kind of goes from the tram. Get these kind of like lampposts coming out from the side. Get kind of like a bit of a line coming from and to that. All right, all right. All right. It's kind of there, kind of there. All right, let me catch up with chat a bit. Good luck, King. Thank you, Ruth. Oh, remove paint from the palette, but making more is difficult. Yeah, yeah, because my paints are all dry. Exactly. Yeah. Is it free to get a drawing done? I think people have answered you in chat, but yeah. Lately, I've been doing. Well, usually I do streams where I summon people and put people on the wheel, but I think this week I might just do watercolor. Looking grading. Thank you, Riptide. Are the paintings free? So when I sketch people on stream, the sketches that I make for them are free. But if you want something completely rendered, like what you see here, these are all like my patrons. I like render their request fully and I give it to them, and you know, you can tell me if you want it for a profile picture or whatever, and I'll make it so that like you can use it for whatever use that you want. That is from my Patreon. But if you just want a sketch, kind of like that bottom one of like the tarantula, a sketch kind of like that, then that is free. You just need to get spun on the wheel. But yeah, I definitely really appreciate the people that support me on Patreon, because that's my main source of. Well, I'm not monetized on YouTube yet, so I only get money through subscribers on Twitch and through Patreon. You have regular streams? Yeah, I stream every day except for Wednesdays and Saturdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Yeah, exactly, Riptide. Thank you. What time is it for you? It's 8 p.m. for me. Is flotation actually Saturn? Bruh. All right. Let me continue. A little bit of paint back here in the stop sign. And also I'm gonna put a bit more in here to make it pop out some more. With these viewers, who needs haters? All right, so now the next. One of your guest is one of your OCs? What do you mean he's one of your OCs? How's a whole person your OC? All right, let's go back to here. So next he goes in. Yeah, so he does those dots. And I've done it with my red instead of orange. Maybe I should have gone for orange, but whatever. Okay, so this is the part I actually got to pay attention on. This is where he wets it again. And wets it a lot. I think he even sprays it once. And creates the shadows that are on like the watery street. And you just let it drip down. And again, I need some super dense pigment, except like especially for this because it's gonna drip down. And then he dry brushes the. So I guess he must wait for it to dry, and then he dry brushes these reflections in. Okay. So let me wet it. Get some clean water, and we're gonna wet it. We're just wetting this whole bottom section, like preparing it for these reflections. Hopefully the paint will do the job on its own. Paint itself, as he likes to say. That's a little bit too blue. I kind of need to bring it a bit more up. And I think I made that one go a bit too far down, but also I didn't wet in here before, so that was my brush with red on it. That up. Oh well. I think let's spritz it once Something like that. I think maybe we take a little bit of paint off in some sections, kind of like where there's going to be the lights. There. Oh, I'm not sharing. God damn it. I was so locked in. Sorry, it was such a good moment as well. Damn. Like it was like one of the really stressful parts. Yeah, it's a good use of ink figure derp. My bad, guys. All right, let me also do these kind of reflections. I think I kind of gotta let it dry because he dry brushes these in, so I gotta let it dry. But let me actually dry it. That's just where I'm at right now. All right, I think we're safe enough to dry brush these in. His viewers are just 3 people with 1 million alt accounts. That might be true. Who needs botting websites when your viewers just spam alt accounts? I think it's really that the red is not light enough. Maybe let's try something crazy and kind of just go back in with a little bit of like orange on top of it. That they just like pop a bit more, you know? Who the hell is Make Ruth Mod? Alright. I'm guessing it's Saturn again. right, let me get some white. Where my white tube at? Where you at, Whitey? Where this cracker at? There they are. All right, so kind of like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of that. Oh, I should have left a little bit more space between the reflection and the weed. That's okay. Live and learn. Yeah. I think maybe we can also do the lights of the lamps here. That. All right. Does he do any other finishing touches? Let's check. I think we're kind of at the end. Yeah, this is. Did we do it, chat? Did we do the thing? Did we make the masterpiece? Let me go back to our view. I don't know what the best way to show this is. Maybe I'll unhook the camera. Show it. All right, let me. Yes. So here, let's see, like, let's blow dry it a bit. And let's do the like really satisfying part of removing this border. And also internally hope that nothing bled past the border, because then it's extremely unsatisfying. But no, we're good. All right, let me take you guys on like a closer tour of it. Oh, that's a bit too close. Yeah, we've got our cars, the reflections going down, the building in the back, the ones in the front. This is what we were able to make today. So, what do you guys think? Because this might be. It has a few less cars and a bit less buildings, but it's a smaller piece of paper. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there is one thing I forgot to do. He did give the lady a nice blue umbrella that really popped out. I kind of want to do that too. Let's go for this Viridian Viridian color. It's awesome. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Riptide. I'm gonna go for this. Actually, I think I'm gonna mix. Or wait. Did I mix this color? Or it is white there. I did leave white, so I can actually use the white from underneath. All right. So we've got also the lady with the blue umbrella. Or, I mean, in my case, it's a more of a greenish turquoise. So yeah. Oops. Yeah, this is it, people. And I think we're also gonna be oh yeah, here, I'll zoom in on the umbrella next to the tram right here. But yeah, so basically the plan for this week is going to be to do more of these. Paint something every day, do more studies, learn some more, and do it until we're watercolor masters. It's kind of the challenge I'm setting up for myself. Ink, I want it. How much? Saturn doesn't have money. Well, they paid for my Patreon, so they have something. I mean, probably if you'd want it, you know, I'd probably say something about the probably maybe around like 60-70 bucks if you want it, if you want it shipped to you, if you really want it. Yeah. With shipping, I mean, that really depends where you are, though. If you're in Canada, then probably, yeah, with shipping. Like around that. Because Canada, I think I can ship for like under $10, this type of stuff. But if you're in the States, it might cost more. But if you're really interested, Saturn, like DM me, and we can talk about it if you're like serious about it. Because yeah, I'd be willing to sell it to you if you really want it. I come to your front porch. I mean, yeah, sure, that'll put the price down for sure. But yeah, and I guess also if ever you know, any of the paintings this week, if you guys fancy them at all, you know, I will be willing to sell them as well if that's something that interests you. But yeah, Thank you. Thank you for just hanging out. And then you know where Ink lives. I mean, I'm not going to give my porch. I'll give someone else's porch and I'll meet you there. Y'all don't know where I live, but every one of you that buys from me, I know where y'all live. I know your exact address. Because I can see it in the receipts. I have so much power. Yeah. Quite happy. If we look at it compared to the... I mean, it's not really a comparison. Look at what we did a couple days ago. Also, if you guys weren't there for the stream a couple days ago, when I was just... Basically, the idea was I was just getting back into watercolor. We did this this conductor in like a loose style. Did this burbu. But yeah. Looking great. Herb. Oh, I don't care if you know where I live. I would just tell you. Well, I do still intend on sending you that that goose riptide. I just gotta get my ass in gear and do all the steps, putting it on the Etsy and all that. Who's engaged to Ruth? Is Saturn trying to get engaged to Ruth? Don't you already have a girlfriend, Saturn? Ruth is engaged to Rip? I mean, she was first engaged to Unroarable for a while. Ruth is just being passed around. Thank you, fool. Yeah, so what did you guys think of the stream today? You guys have any advice on the setup, on, you know, how the stream went, how the interactions went? Because this is kind of what I'm planning to do all week, you know. So do you have any advice as to things you would like to see or changes in any way? And definitely, since I'm telling you that we're gonna be doing this all week, if y'all have watercolors, y'all can follow along as well. Wonderful pictures. Hey, thank you, Lydia. I appreciate it. Yeah, one piece of advice: remember to switch the camera. Oh man, yeah. I really need like some sort of TTS or some sort of redeem that yells at me like wrong camera. Love you. All right, thank you, Wicca. Thank you so much. I'm glad y'all could vibe with me tonight. Be more Twitch redeems. Yeah. All right, I'll try to work on that. I'll try to, before my stream tomorrow night, I'll try set up some more some more redeems and stuff, some more interactions on Twitch. I feel like there are alts again. Your viewers are fooling you. No. Lydia and Wicca, I've been here. Wait, no. Yeah. I've been here for a while. They've just been lurking. And if they are alts, you really have fooled me. You fooled me over multiple days. May I request a command? Sure. What would you like as a command? Also, do you have a suggestion for who we should raid? Let's do an ink raid, an inky raid. A honk. Only the mods are able to use. Just plays a honk, a goose honk as a way to get your attention. All right, I'll look into that. Yeah, definitely some commands that can get my attention for certain things that I'm not realizing would be good, like the switching cameras. No udders on the overlay, Ruth. Sorry, we're not doing that. Yeah, even these small ones. If ever these small ones interest you guys to have, I could even send them by letter mail. Maybe like 30 bucks or something. You know, DM me. Let me know if anything interests you. We can come to an arrangement. Let's put all our tubes back. Yeah, this is where I was taking all my tubes from. I have a little case of tubes. I try to keep semi arranged in color. You're on Twitch now, Saturn. Perfect. You'll be ready for the Wade. The Wade. You'll be ready for the Wade. The Wade. Sorry, my last two brain cells are kicking in, I guess. Alright, Riptide started a raid on Jack of All Crafts. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Especially, you know, hanging out on these streams, you know, these like watercolor streams, because I want to do more of these. I want to get better at watercolor. That's like one of my bigger overarching goals. You know, I want to get into make some pieces I'm really proud of, get into some galleries, you know, and if I can grow on Twitch or YouTube at the same time, then, you know, that's perfect. And like, I really like, you know, just being here, chatting with you guys at the same time. It also makes me, you know, talk through my own thoughts and process things in a different way that I think is actually beneficial. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out, so that I don't have to talk to myself for 3 hours. And yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow night, and I'll choose another master study to do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And with that, Thompson out. Let's go raid.
Welcome in, guys. How was your stream? What did you get up to?
Sometimes magic sounds like tape. It isn't. It's the power. The
Power of India. Nice. Well, if you have art tax, welcome in. If you have art tax, we masters. Ooh, we do have open links here. I would love to show off some of your work. But that, you know, as long as you're comfortable. I always forget what to say when raids come in because holy cow. Glad your stream went well. He's really good. Okay. Ooh, I can't wait to see and follow back.